ipinagkatiwala sa atin ng saligang batas at ng sambayanang Pilipino. Sa mga pagkakataong gaya nito, sinusubok hindi lamang ang isang opisyal, kundi ang tibay ng ating mga institusyon, ang katapatan natin sa batas, at ang ating kakayanan na unahin ang bayan kaysa sa politika. On behalf of the Committee on Justice, and in faithful compliance with our constitutional mandate, I rise to sponsor Committee Report number 261, together with House Resolution number 989, setting forth the articles of impeachment against the Vice President of the Republic. Mr. Speaker, simple lamang ang hinihingi ng pagkakataong ito sa atin. Sundin natin ang konstitusyon. Nothing more, nothing less. Hindi po kami narito upang humatol ng pagkakasala. Hindi rin kami narito upang magparusa. Ang tanong lamang na nasa harap natin ngayon, may sapat bang dahilan upang ipagpatuloy ang paglilitis sa Senado? Iyan lamang po ang tanong. At iyan ang sagradong tungkulin na ipinapasa ngayon ng Committee on Justice sa buong kapulungan. Hawak po natin ngayon ang bunga ng mahabang proseso. Hindi ito nabuo sa isang gabi. Hindi ito produkto ng chismis, galit, o sigaw sa social media. Committee Report, 52 pages. House Resolution, 18 pages. Articles of Impeachment, 23 pages. At lampas pa rito ay libu-libong pahina ng annexes, records, certifications, testimonya, financial documents, at deliberations na masusing pinag-aralan ng Committee on Justice. Bawat pahina ay may bigat. Bawat dokumento ay may implikasyon. Bawat testimonya ay may kaakibat na pananagutan. Nagawa na po ng Committee on Justice ang bahagi nito. We examined the evidence. We tested the arguments. We listened to every side. We placed everything on record. At ngayon, ang desisyon ay nasa kamay na ng buong House of Representatives. Tayo ngayon ang haharap sa sambayanang Pilipino upang sagutin ang isang simpleng tanong. Kapag may mabigat na aligasyon laban sa isa sa pinakamataas na opisyal ng Republika, ano ang dapat gawin ng House of Representatives? Tumingin sa kabila, manahimik, o sundin ang konstitusyon? Nitong mga nakaraang araw, paulit-ulit nating narinig ang isang tanong. May numero ba tayo? Ilan daw ang boboto? Kaya ba ang 1/3 vote? May umatras na raw. May nag-withdraw na raw. Wala pang ang botohan. May bilang na agad ng mga sumusuko. Pero, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, iyan ba talaga ang pinakamahalagang tanong ngayon. Because if we remember, we already went through this process before. Noong nakaraang impeachment proceedings, mayroon ng sapat na numero. 215 kasapi ng kapulungang ito ang bumoto upang isulong ang impeachment. Isa iyon sa pinakamalaking bilang sa kasaysayan ng ating Kongreso. Pero ano ang nangyari? Tinigil ng Korte Suprema. At mahalagang linawin kung ano ang tunay na sinabi ng Korte Suprema. Hindi nila sinabi na wala nang dapat sagutin. Hindi nila sinabi na walang kailangang ipaliwanag. Hindi nila sinabi na bawal nang magkaroon muli ng impeachment proceedings. Ang sinabi ng Korte Suprema ay ito: kung gagawin natin ito, gawin natin ang tama. Sundin natin ang proseso. Sundin natin ang konstitusyon. At iyan po ang ginawa ng Committee on Justice. Kaya ang tunay na tanong ngayon ay hindi lamang kung may numero tayo. Ang mas mahalagang tanong, sinunod ba natin ang proseso? At higit sa lahat, mayroon ba tayong ebidensya? Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, proseso at ebidensya. Iyan ang pundasyon ng bawat makatarungang lipunan. At ang sagot po natin ay isang malinaw at matatag na opo. Sa proseso, naging maingat tayo. Hindi tayo nagmadali. Sinunod natin ang one-year bar rule. Pinigyan natin ng pagkakataon ng bawat panig. Ang mga pagdinig ay isinagawa ng hayagan, naka-livestream at bukas sa taong bayan. At higit sa lahat, pinakinggan natin maging ang mga tumututol sa impeachment. Pinakinggan natin ang bawat manifestation, bawat argumento, bawat legal na punto. Hindi tayo naghanap ng shortcut. Naghanap tayo ng katotohanan. At maging malinaw po tayo, ang prosesong ito ay hindi paghamak sa mga Pilipinong sumusuporta sa Vice-Presidente. Sa isang demokrasya, ang suporta ng mamamayan ay dapat igalang. Ngunit kahit gaano kataas ang posisyon, kahit gaano kalakas ang suporta, walang sino man ang lampas sa pananagutan sa ilalim ng konstitusyon. Hindi ito usapin ng apelyido, partido o rehiyon. Ang prinsipyo ng pananagutan ay dapat umiiral kanino man, kaalyado man o kalaban. At kapag may aligasyon laban sa sino mang opisyal ng pamahalaan, maging miyembro man ng House of Representatives, Senado o ehekutibo, dapat itong imbestigahan at sagutin sa ilalim ng batas. Walang puwang sa isang tunay na demokrasya ang selective accountability. At sa ebidensya naman, nakita natin ang mga dokumento na hindi maaaring ipagsawalang pahala. Mga certification mula sa PSA, mga disallowance mula sa COA, mga records ng transaksyon mula sa AMLC, mga dokumentong isinumite mismo sa Committee on Justice at isinama sa official records ng kapulungang ito. Nakakita tayo ng mga pangalang walang official records. Nakakita tayo ng mga confidential funds na idineklarang disallowed at pinababalik sa kaban ng bayan. At nakita rin natin ang ulat na nagpapakita ng bilyong-bilyong piso ng inflow at outflow na mga transaksyon sa loob ng maraming taon. Maaaring may paliwanag sa bawat transaksyon. Ngunit sa laki, lawak at pattern ng mga ito, tungkulin nating tiyakin na ang mga ito ay maipaliwanag ng lubos sa tamang forum at sa ilalim ng panunumpa. At habang pinag-uusapan natin ang bilyon-bilyong piso, alalahanin natin kung kaninong pera ito. Pera ito ng manggagawang pumapasok kahit kulang ang pamasahe. Pera ito ng magulang na nagtitiis upang mapag-aral ang anak. Pera ito ng pamilyang pumipila sa ospital, ngunit walang pambili ng gamot. Pera ito ng mga Pilipino na araw-araw nagbabayad ng puwis habang umaasang tapat ang mga pinunong kanilang pinagkatiwalaan. Kaya kapag may mga tanong tungkol sa paggamit ng pera ng bayan, hindi maaaring manahimik ang House of Representatives. At sa kabila ng lahat ng ito, isang bakanteng upuan ang humarap sa Committee on Justice. Hindi dumalo ang Vice Presidente upang personal na sagutin ang mga isyong ibinabato laban sa kanya. Ngunit sa ating sistema, ang mga seryosong aligasyon ay kailangan sagutin sa pamamagitan ng ebidensya at testimonya sa ilalim ng panunumpa. Gayunpaman, kahit wala siya sa pagdinig, pinag-aralan pa rin ng Committee on Justice ang bawat dipensang inilabas ng kanyang kampo. At matapos ang mahabang deliberasyon, matapos ang halos 22 resource persons, matapos ang libu-libong pahina ng records, nagkaisa ang Committee on Justice. Unanimous po ang boto. The committee found probable cause to proceed with impeachment. At mahalagang tandaan, hindi nagsimula ang komite na magkakapareho ang pananaw. Marami ang nagtanong, marami ang nagtuda, marami ang nais munang makumbinsi. Ngunit habang dumarating ang mga dokumento, habang lumalabas ang testimonya, habang nabubuo ang kabuuang larawan, unti-unting luminaw ang isang bagay. May mga tanong na hindi maaaring iwasan. May mga issue na hindi maaaring ipagkibit palikat. May mga bagay na kailangan ng harapin ng buong bansa. At ito ang naging batayan ng Articles of Impeachment. Article 1, ukol sa confidential funds at paggamit ng kaban ng bayan, gamit ang mga questionableng dokumento. Article 2, ukol sa mga transaksyon at ari-ariang nangangailangan ng malinaw na paliwanag at reconciliation sa salin at idineklarang kita. Article 3, ukol sa aligasyon ng bribery at paggamit umano ng pera kapalit ng impluwensya at pabor. Article 4, ukol sa mga banta at mararahas na pahayag laban sa matataas na opisyal ng bansa na sa pananaw ng komite ay sapat upang litisin sa Senado. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, may mga aligasyong pinansyal na kailangan sagutin. May mga dokumentong kailangang ipaliwanag. Ngunit may isang bahagi ng usaping ito na higit na mabigat sapagkat hindi lamang pera ng bayan ang nakataya. Ang nakataya rito ay tiwala ng sambayanan at katatagan mismo ng ating republika. Sapagkat kapag ang isang mataas na pinuno ng bansa ay nagsasalita tungkol sa pagpatay sa Pangulo ng Republika, tungkol sa pakikipag-usap umano sa isang assassin, at tungkol sa posibilidad ng karahasan laban sa pinuno ng Estado, hindi maaaring ipagkibit balikat iyon bilang simpleng bugso lamang ng emosyon o ordinaryong alitan sa politika. May mga nagsasabing wala namang overt act. May mga nagsasabing emosyon lamang iyon. Ngunit, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, ang usapin dito ay hindi lamang kung may kasong kriminal. Ang usapin dito ay ang bigat ng mismong mga salitang binitawan ng isang pinakamataas na opisyal ng Republika. Sapagkat hindi pangkaraniwan para sa isang mataas na pinuno ng bansa na magsalita tungkol sa pakikipag-usap o pakikipag-ugnayan sa isang assassin kaugnay ng Pangulo ng Republika. Hindi ito simpleng init ng ulo. Hindi
bubuhayin yung constitutional change, except this time around, regional Senate ang gusto nila. But to do that, siguro, part of the enticement is that may term extension, and then yun nga, regional Senate. In theory, maganda yon kasi each region will have their senators. But the reality is, if you have 36, 48, 60 senators, yung possibility na maging rubber stamp, nandun talaga. Diba? So at this time of crisis, I don't take it against anyone of thinking about political reforms, whether maganda yung motibo o hindi. Pero naghihirap ang tao eh. So whether you talk about electricity, agriculture, prices of gamot, prices of rice, dun muna sana. Having said that, kanya-kanyang pananaw yan eh. Iba pananaw din nila sa Senate leadership, di ba? Yung anyone but Cayetano, nung nag-attempt kami nung February, yung kandidato namin yun din ang sinabi sa amin eh. Anyone but siya. So ang point ko, I think it's more of anyone that they cannot control.
Sir, isa na lang sa akin. As of 2:03 ngayong hapon, you have 13, sir. Can you say that?
To the best of my knowledge, wala namang dun sa aming kamusta, check, usap tayo mamaya, punta dito. 'Di ba? So now, if pag-usap namin, biglang may kakausap sa amin, that's beyond my control. No? So meaning, as of Saturday and Sunday, so nag-meet pa kami Saturday, usap, made calls, hindi ko naman nakausap lahat yesterday, talk to some, okay pa lahat, sabi yung walang bibigay, pero grabe ang pressure. At saka talagang pinag-aaway, sinasabi daw may 13 na, may 14. So as of this morning, 7 o'clock, 7:35, sa 8 o'clock, may tumatawag na. So okay na, wala namang hindi sumasagot sa chat groups at sa communication namin, di ba? Having said that, if may palitan naman, it would be smart naman to tell us in the last minute. And so it would be smart to tell in the last minute, and I won't take it against them, di ba? So simple lang yan. Kung nilagay ako dito ng Panginoon for an 8-day mission, tatanggapin ko yon. Pero kung ang mission ko is simulan yung impeachment, tatanggapin ko rin yon, di ba? Yung isang senyales sa akin doon, kung gaano kadali na nakuha ko yung Senate presidency, gaano kadali in the sense that saan ka nakakita, 12, hindi mo nililigawan, hindi mo pinapangako ng committees or kung ano man, lahat ng kapangyarihan around this earth ginamit against, pero they're sticking together, ituloy natin. So it's a privilege serving you, serving our people, serving the Senate. But pag sinabi nilang iiba direction, I will respect that.
So tanggap niyo, sir, sorry to ask, if you will be the shortest serving SP, sir?
It's not how long your life is, it's how meaningful it is. Diba? Some people live 100 years and say, where has the time gone? Diba? The Lord Jesus lived a little bit over 30 years, pero in 3 years, nagawa niya lahat ng gusto niyang gawin. Of course, I'm human. I think I can do much more if it's 8 months rather than 8 days, but that's not in my control.
Hi, sir. Sir, your reaction lang po, merong mga calls for your resignation after what happened. Binabatikos po yung pag-alis ni Senator Bato, the shooting incident, and si Director Matibag also said you should be held accountable. Your reaction to all these?
Okay. Hindi pa naman ako SP, pinagre-resign na ako eh. Buong buhay ko naman ganun eh, 'di ba? So certain people are called for the job. So even before I took office as Senate President, tinanong ko sa 12, bakit ako? And may reason kung bakit ako. Maybe because I was there during the time of crisis. You remember, nung pandemic, nag-break ang Senate, 'di ba? Ang House, mas marami kami. Gusto nila mag-break kami. Sabi ko, hindi pwede. Kailangan makita nila may gobyerno. Konti na lang siguro tayo dito. I don't blame naman yung mga nag-suggest sa akin Wednesday night na wala daw pasok the next day, Thursday, at i-cancel lahat. Sabi ko, hindi pwede. Kailangan makita nila may gobyerno dito. So, ang message ko sa NBI, hindi nyo natibag ang Senado. Under Alan Cayetano, hindi nyo natibag ang Senado. So, kung sino man, if I continue or may papalit sa akin, okay? Ulitin ko ha, during my watch, hindi nyo natibag ang Senado. Now, kung if I remain or kung papalitan ako, sana hindi matibag ang Senado. The Senate is a target, di ba? Because we are the last line of defense sa pagdating ng hindi impartial na impeachment. We're the last line of defense sa budget. We're the last line of defense sa charter change. We're the last line of defense sa kung merong gustong yumurak o sumira sa ating democracy. I'm not saying we, the Senate. But leadership matters. Di ba? So, dun sa nagsasabing take responsibility, kayo pumasok dito, kayo na maril eh. Tapos kami pagre-resign ninyo. Dapat kayo mag-resign. Di ba? Pati yung mga ibang nagsasabing take responsibility for the shooting. I take responsibility for my reaction. Di ba? So, kung mamato ako dito, batuhin niyo ako pabalik, kayo magre-resign. Ako na mato eh. The one who takes, you take responsibility for your action. So I will take responsibility for my reaction, how I handled everything. But I cannot take responsibility for them shooting at us. Confirmed na, may gunpowder yung hinuli. Sa loob ng Senado hinuli yon ha. Until this time, may nagsasabi sa Pangulo na ang NBI daw nasa GSIS, wala daw dito sa loob at hindi daw nagpaputok. So makikita mo there's a lying all over going around. If they can lie with that simple thing, 'di ba? So sabi ko nga sa grupo namin, guys, hindi pwedeng maging general rule yung ginawa ng NBI. Tinetesting nila yung Senado. Unfortunately, dati maraming nag-i-invoke dun sa spirit ni Salonga, Recto, Tanyada, yung Osmeña, Rojas, yung ating mga greats, di ba? In the past, pagka inattack ang Senate, nagka-come together lahat ng senador. Ngayon, algorithm at political bias na. That's what's sad about it, no? All the evidence is there. I mean, it's beyond our control na, like sa inyo, di ba? Pag dumating na sa editor, dumating na sa final, dumating sa live interviews, hindi nyo kontrolado lahat yon. Pero yung personal experience nyo at personal testimony nyo, meaning, pag tinanong kayo ng kapatid nyo, anak nyo, pag uwi nyo, ano ba talaga nangyari? Eyewitness din kayo eh. Diba? So, yun din ang ko sa inyo. Kung eyewitness kayo and you think I did wrong, I won't take it against you for calling for the resignation. But if you're telling me na kontrolado ko yung NBI, so dun sa nagsabing scripted, di ba? Ang galing ko naman na pati NBI is under my command pala.
So you won't resign, sir?
There's no reason to eh. Di ba? Many of those who are calling for my resignation are political operators eh. Dati na silang may, meaning nung nasa DFA ako, resign Alan. Nung nasa Speaker's Office ako, resign Alan. Nung minority leader ako, resign Alan. Nag-ano lang ngayon, nag-echo lang ngayon dahil nga sa mga pangyayari. But for me, it's concerted effort from day one to get me out because they want someone they can control. The only thing I promise the 13 is I follow God. Diba? And, following God is easy if you know exactly what he's telling you to do, di ba? Pero if you have 5 decisions to make and all of them are godly decisions, hindi madali mag-discern na ano ba dapat gawin. So for example, as long as I tell the truth, that's godly, di ba? But do I extend a friendly hand in friendship? Di ba? Do I tell everyone, let's work together? Or do I pound the table muna para alam nilang hindi pwedeng ganito yung Senate? Those are everyday decisions that needs wisdom. And I'm not claiming to have all the wisdom, di ba? But uulitin ko lang ha, collaboration, okay. Pero yung sunod-sunod kami sa inyo at hawak nyo kami sa liig, hindi pwede yun. Collaboration, our government needs collaboration. The 3 great branches of government, judiciary, executive, have to work together. Senate, House, we have to work together. But yung sasabihin mag-surrender or puppet SP ka, hindi ka tatanggalin, pero kung ano sabihin namin, sumunod ka. Sorry, hindi ko style yon.
Last question, Ma'am Gonzales.
Hi, SP. Hingi lang po kami ng status ni Saa Aplaska, kung suspended po ba siya, and si Sec Dong
That's
po.
part of our, thank you for that question.
Apo,
So
pati
that's-
sir lang si Sec Dong Mendoza, nag-resign daw po.
To be fair kay Sec Dong, siguro a few minutes after mag-resign yung dating Osaa, he told me na magre-resign siya. I told him I want him around. And then, sorry, hindi ko lang alam yung exact date. He actually handed me a written resignation. And dati ko naman siyang kaibigan. Never ko siyang kapartido, but he's always been forthright with me, always had worked in candor. Alam ko naman alam niya biases ko, alam ko biases niya. And then, he could have gone home Wednesday night nung maraming nagchichismisan na umuwi na kayo, or maraming nagte-textan na umuwi na kayo. But he stayed, no? So, actually, sa isang news ko nakita yun this morning. So, I haven't talked to any of them. I went straight to the hearing ni Senator Pia on electricity, high prices of electricity, then to the prayer for the nation, then here. So, I'll deal with that kung kay Sec Jendong. And then kay Osaa, there are 3 options kasi. There's a legal memo prepared for me to discuss with the legal team. I'd like to thank, di ba, nasa internet pinost naman ni Attorney Tolentino, Mark Tolentino, na, may separation of powers kasi. And then may certain officials na pwede i-suspend o hindi. And everyone was emotional during the weekend, kaya nga Saturday sabi ko, prayer and reflection. Hindi ko na sinagot yung kay Ombudsman na walang nagtanggap dito. Kasi wala naman tayong trabaho ng Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Wala naman official na pwedeng tumanggap. To my knowledge, wala naman yung subpoena. CCTV, walang question doon. Kung may miscommunication, it was cleared up naman, di ba? It's not true na walang CCTV. Meron, pero the lights were out eh. So, hindi lahat singlinaw nung iba. Number 2, as soon as Secretary John Vic called me, yun ang una niyang hiningi, secure the CCTVs. When he got here, inulit ko sa harap, 2 copies. Sabi ko, gumawa kayong 2 copies, pero sa harap nila kayo gumawa ng 2 copies para alam yung original. So yung isa nasa PNP or, I don't think it's with DILG, I think it's with PNP. So, dun sa DOJ at saka sa Ombudsman, wag sila mangamba na matamper yon kasi hawak na ng gobyerno right after the incident, no. But as far as NBI and DOJ investigating, suspect sila eh. So paano sila mag-iimbestiga, 'di ba? That's why nga pumayag ako ng joint investigation kasi I am sure that someone will point the fingers sa mga taga-Senado. So kung suspect ka rin, hindi pwedeng ikaw lang mag-imbestiga, 'di ba? That's why I also appeal to all of you, whoever has videos, to the proper authorities kasama namin. So actually, I've been scanning the news and internet at kung ano man videos lumalabas doon, kinukuha din namin para maayos natin in a very logical and scientific manner.
Sorry,
So, clarification lang po. Si Saa Aplaska, pati po si Secdo.
I'll update you maybe in an hour or two kung anong decision. And I promised also both the majority and the whole 24 senators na magiging consultative or consensus yung aming decision making, di ba? So I don't think yung whether or not yung suspend. Remember, he's acting, ha? So hindi naman siya regular sergeant at arms, meaning he should also have an option na kung ayaw na niya, 'di ba? But he's been there, he's been reporting, he's doing his job. I don't think he deserves this, but sabi niya, sir, sundalo ako, sanay ako diyan.
Sir, to clarify, si General Aplaska pa rin po yung Senate Sergeant at Arms na
Yeah, we haven't made a decision.
nag-i-implement.
We haven't made a decision kasi one option, 'di ba, is sundin yung ombudsman. The other nga is may legal opinion na it's the Senate that can suspend, hindi sila. And then one is to suspend pero to question sa CA. The other one is sila mag-question sa CA. So there's really 1,000 decisions that have to be made, but I just want to focus on convening as an impeachment court, organizing the Senate para wala nang magsabi-sabi na delay. Beside those two priorities, then pwede natin isa-isahin ko ano man ang mga kailangan nating gawin, no?
Sir, sorry. Your priority is committee chairmanship.
Organizing the Senate in general. So
Okay.
that right now that means the committee chairmanship. Yeah.
Committee chairmanship and convening the impeachment court. Pero pag may tumayo to change leadership, hindi niyo po harangin.
That's their right. But priorities are priorities, di ba?
So kahit may tumayo
Di
po,
ba sila naman nagsasabi before or kakampi nila kung hindi sila na di-delay namin yung impeachment. So kung gusto nilang i-delay nila. I've been in the Senate long enough na kahit majority ka, kung gusto mo talagang i-delay, maraming pwedeng gawin eh. 'Di ba? Sabay-sabay lang kayo tumayo, madi-delay mo. But I'm expecting a very naman decent and honorable exchange mamaya. 'Di ba?
there will be moves. Sorry sir, isa na lang.
Yes,
If there
ma'am.
will be a move for a change of leadership, ipopush nyo na
Priority
mag-convene
yun.
muna.
Hindi. If there's a move to change leadership, priority yun. Oo. Yun ang pinaka... So, if you look at the Constitution, getting the Senate organized is the priority. Kasi how can you even convene the court if you're not organized? How can you have hearings if you're not organized? After organization, ano yung mga constitutional mandates? Siyempre, mandate to make laws, pero everyday yon. But to convene, di ba, and given the national clamor or trauma, whatever side you're on, may mawawala ba na we convene and start the process, di ba? Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Bribery at paggamit umano ng pera, kapalit ng impluwensya at pabor. Article 4, ukol sa mga banta at mararahas na pahayag laban sa matataas na opisyal ng bansa na sa pananaw ng komite ay sapat upang litisin sa Senado. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, may mga aligasyong pinansyal na kailangan sagutin. May mga dokumentong kailangang ipaliwanag. Ngunit may isang bahagi ng usaping ito na higit na mabigat sapagkat hindi lamang pera ng bayan ang nakataya. Ang nakataya rito ay tiwala ng sambayanan at katatagan mismo ng ating republika. Sapagkat kapag ang isang mataas na pinuno ng bansa ay nagsasalita tungkol sa pagpatay sa Pangulo ng Republika, tungkol sa pakikipag-usap umano sa isang assassin at tungkol sa posibilidad ng karahasan laban sa pinuno ng Estado, hindi maaaring ipagkibit balikat iyon bilang simpleng bugso lamang ng emosyon o ordinaryong alitan sa politika. May mga nagsasabing wala namang overt act. May mga nagsasabing emosyon lamang iyon. Ngunit, Mr. Speaker, Distinguished colleagues, ang usapin dito ay hindi lamang kung may kasong kriminal. Ang usapin dito ay ang bigat ng mismong mga salitang binitawan ng isang pinakamataas na opisyal ng Republika. Sapagkat hindi pangkaraniwan para sa isang mataas na pinuno ng bansa na magsalita tungkol sa pakikipag-usap o pakikipag-ugnayan sa isang asasin kaugnay ng Pangulo ng Republika. Hindi ito simpleng init ng ulo. Hindi ito karaniwang political rhetoric at lalong hindi ito uri ng pananalita na inaasahan ng sambayanan mula sa matataas na opisyal ng bansa. Sapagkat ang mga salita ng mga pinuno ay may bigat. Maaari silang magbigay ng kapanatagan o maghasik ng pangamba sa sambayanan. At kapag ang mga nasa pinakamataas na antas ng pamahalaan ay tila inuuna ang karahasan kaysa kinahunan, hindi lamang mga opisyal ang naaapektuhan. Ang unang naaapektuhan ay ang ordinaryong Pilipino. Ang manggagawang nangangambang mawala ng hanap buhay kapag nagiging magulo ang kalagayan ng bansa. Ang pamilyang hirap na nga sa taas ng presyo ng bilihin at lalo pang nangangamba kapag humihina ang tiwala sa pamahalaan at ekonomiya. Ang maliliit na negosyong umaasa sa katahimikan at katatagan upang patuloy na makaraos araw-araw. At ang mga magulang ng tanging hangad ay isang ligtas, maayos at matatag na kinabukasan para sa kanilang mga anak. Sapagkat sa panahon ng krisis, hindi karahasan ang hinahanap ng bayan sa kanilang mga pinuno. Ang hinahanap nila ay kapanatagan. Hindi takot, hindi pangamba, hindi kaguluhan. Sapagkat ang tunay na lakas ng pamumuno ay hindi nasusukat sa tapang at karahasan. Nasusukat ito sa kakayahang magbigay ng kaayusan, kapanatagan sa sambayanan, lalo sa panahon ng pangamba. At ito ngayon ang isa sa mga tanong na kailangang harapin ng sambayanang Pilipino. Anong uri ng asal, paghusga at pamumuno ang inaasahan natin mula sa mga pinunong pinagkakatiwalaan ng sambayanan? Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, ang mga articles of impeachment na nasa harap natin ngayon ay hindi simpleng political document. Ito ay salamin ng isang mas malaking tanong na bumabagabag sa sambayanang Pilipino. Anong uri ng pamumuno ba ang karapat-dapat sa ating bansa? Sapagkat ang usapin dito ay hindi lamang legal. Ito ay moral, ito ay constitutional. At dahil moral at constitutional ang usapin, hindi maaring takasan ng alinmang institusyon ang tungkuling ito. At kapag may mabibigat na pagdududa tungkol sa paggamit ng pera ng bayan, tungkol sa katapatan sa salin, tungkol sa asal at pananalita ng isang pinuno, hindi maaring manahimik ang House of Representatives. Hindi tayo maaaring magbulag-bulagan. Hindi tayo maaaring matakot. Hindi tayo maaaring maging kasabwat ng katahimikan. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, marahil ito ang isa sa pinakamabigat na boto na gagawin natin bilang mga halal na kinatawan ng bayan. Sapagkat ang pagboto natin ngayon ay hindi lamang tungkol sa isang tao. Ang pagboto natin ngayon ay tungkol sa uri ng republika na nais nating ipamana sa susunod na henerasyon. Kung mananaig ba ang pananagutan o ang takot? Kung mananaig ba ang katotohanan o ang ingay? Kung mananaig ba ang konstitusyon o ang kapangyarihan? At ngayon, balikan natin ang tanong na paulit-ulit nating naririnig May numero ba tayo, Mr. Speaker? Distinguished colleagues, opo, meron po tayong numero. Ngunit ang numerong tinutukoy ko ay hindi lamang bilang ng boto. Nasa records po ang numero. 6.7 billion pesos. Iyan ang numerong kailangang may paliwanag sa sambayanang Pilipino. Iyan ang numerong hindi maaring ibaon sa limot. Iyan ang numerong nagtatanong kung may mga bagay bang kinakailangang lubos na may paliwanag sa sambayanang Pilipino. At sa Senado, naroon ang pagkakataon ng Vice Presidente na sagutin ng buo ang bawat aligasyon. Iharap ang kanyang ebidensya at marinig ng buong sambayanan ang kanyang panig. At kung hindi natin haharapin ang tanong na iyan ngayon, kailan pa? Kung hindi tayo kikilos ngayon, sino pa? Ang mga republika ay hindi bumabagsak sa isang iglap. Unti-unti silang humihina kapag ang pananagutan ay inuunahan ng takot. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, ang hinihingi lamang natin ngayon ay ipagpatuloy ang proseso. Bigyan natin ang pagkakataon ng Senado na dinggin ang buong katotohanan. Hayaan nating manaig ang ebidensya. Hayaan nating manaig ang proseso. Hayaan nating manaig ang konstitusyon. At sa huli, hayaan nating manaig ang bayan. With that, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I respectfully urge this chamber to vote in favor of Committee Report number 261 and House Resolution number 989. Let us do our duty. Maraming salamat po.
Majority Leader. Mr. Speaker, please recognize Representative Paulo Henry M. Marcoleta for his interpellation.
Representative Paulo Henry Marcoleta, party list Sagip, is hereby recognized. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished sponsor. Madam Sponsor, could you please identify the exact rule, resolution, order, or House authority that allowed the Committee on Justice to conduct impeachment hearing during the adjournment of session?
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, let us be reminded by the distinction between an impeachment process vis-a-vis the legislative process. The impeachment process is governed by Article 11 of the Constitution, whereas the legislative process is governed by Article 6 of the Constitution. Suffice it to state that there is entirely big difference between an impeachment process and a legislative process. As a matter of fact, Mr. Speaker, there is a different set of rules which govern the proceeding of impeachment. In the same manner that there is a different set of rules that govern our legislative process. Mr. Speaker, in other words, my distinguished colleagues, the impeachment process is not governed by breaks and recess. And to validate that, Mr. Speaker, the House of Representatives, before the break, before the start of the proceeding before the Justice Committee, even passed a resolution expressly authorizing the Justice Committee to proceed with its hearing, to exercise the compulsory process, and even to use the electronic mode of sending notices and documents. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, there is nothing under the rule which prohibits hearing of the Justice Committee during recess. It must be remembered, impeachment process is entirely different from the legislative process. I submit, Mr. Speaker.
So, Madam Sponsor, wala pong maipakita na dokumento ang distinguished sponsor authorizing the committee to conduct hearings during
Mr.
adjournment.
Speaker, if I may continue, it seems to this representation that the honorable gentleman is not listening. I have cited already that the House of Representatives passed a
Order.
resolution.
Order, please. Silence.
That's why I'm asking for a resolution. Give me the copy.
May I request for a 30-second suspension?
Madam Sponsor,
Session
distinguished
suspended.
Mr. Speaker,
Session resumed. But
May I
before
be
that-
recognized, Mr. Speaker?
Before that, Majority Leader, I'd like to remind the people in the gallery, please observe strict silence. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, ganyan din po ang karanasan ko sa komite. Meron ding audience participation. May palakpakan, may hiyawan din po. Kaya hindi na po bago sa akin itong ginagawa ng mga hakot ng mga audience na ito.
Majority
Anyway,
Leader.
Mr. Distinguished
Representative Marcoleta, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, to address the request of the Honorable Marcoleta, may I request that the Secretary General be directed to provide the Honorable Marcoleta a copy of the relevant plenary resolution authorizing the conduct of hearings.
Secretary General, please provide necessary corresponding copies. Please proceed, gentlemen.
And if I may read Article 11, Section 3, Paragraph 2 of the Constitution. A verified complaint for impeachment may be filed by any member of the House of Representatives or by any citizen upon a resolution or endorsement by any member thereof, which shall be included in the order of business within 10 session days and referred to the proper committee within 3 session days thereafter. The committee, after hearing and by a majority vote of all its members, shall submit its report to the House within 60 session days from such referral together with the corresponding resolution. The resolution shall be calendared for consideration by the House within 10 session days from receipt thereof. Doon po sa paragraph na binasa ko, 4 na beses pong binanggit ang session days. Wala pong binanggit na pwedeng mag-hearing ang impeachment, ang Committee on Justice habang naka-adjourn ang both houses.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, for purposes of our records, I am reading from the House Resolution number 892, the title of which, Resolution Authorizing the House Committee on Justice to implement Section 8 of the Rules of Procedure in impeachment proceedings relating to the protection of complainants and witnesses, and further authorizing the committee to continue the conduct of impeachment proceedings and the exercise of ancillary powers during the recess of the House of Representatives from 21 March 2026 to 3 May 2026. It is respectfully submitted, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, that all the proceedings before the Justice Committee is within the ambit expressly provided by the House of Representatives in Resolution number 892.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, just to further assure the Honorable Marcoleta that everything was done in accordance with our rules and with due process, we did not adjourn sine die. We are still on our first regular session. That is why the plenary can authorize the committee to conduct their hearings if necessary. That's all, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, Representative Marcoleta, please
again,
wrap
I
up.
still
Your
don't have-
3 minutes is up.
I'm still not furnished a copy.
Please wrap up. Your 3 minutes is up.
Let me go to my next question. Madam Sponsor, when this case is elevated to the Senate,
Mr. Speaker,
is the House asking the Senate to try the verified complaints as filed or the broader record developed by the committee during the hearings?
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, based on our rules and based on the Constitution, it is not the impeachment complaint, but instead the articles of impeachment that was approved by the Justice Committee, which, upon approval of the House of Representatives, will be transmitted to the Senate. Consequently, Mr. Speaker, the basis of the trial is not the impeachment complaint, but the articles of impeachment.
Which brings me to the follow-up question. Madam Sponsor, can you confirm for the record whether every factual allegation in the articles of impeachment appears in the verified complaints or in their attachment, and not merely in testimony or documents later introduced during the committee hearings?
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, we confirm that the contents of the articles of impeachment are consistent to the contents of the impeachment complaints which were deliberated upon before the Justice Committee. We have to consider as well that under the rules, notwithstanding the fact that the evidence is not attached to the complaint, so long as it is relevant to the impeachment complaint, the same is allowed by the rules of impeachment.
Representative Marcoleta,
Ang alam
your
ko po
time
kasi-
is up. Your 3 minutes is up.
Evidence may support a pleaded charge, but should not become a substitute for a verified charge. And let me go to my
Your time is up.
final
Representative
question,
Marcoleta.
Mr.
Last
Speaker.
question. I'll allow you last question.
Madam Sponsor, did the committee ever formally amend, require amendment of, or authorize supplementation of the verified complaints to include factual matters that emerged only during the hearings?
Mr. Speaker, we are consistent to the contents of the impeachment complaint. And if the honorable gentleman is requiring the Justice Committee to make it as a parameter that they should all be expressed in the impeachment complaint, then he is not aligned to the rules of impeachment. The rules of impeachment expressly allow even other relevant evidence, which means, notwithstanding that they are not expressly mentioned in the impeachment complaint, so long as they are relevant, they can effectively form part of the articles of impeachment.
Majority Leader.
Thank you to the Honorable Marcoleta. Next on the list, Mr. Speaker, please recognize Representative Robert Nazal for
Majority
his...
Leader,
Representative Robert Nasal
can I
of
just make
party list.
a closing statement?
BH is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, may I request the Honorable Marcoleta that he will have enough time for more manifestations, including his explanation of vote afterward.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you.
Speaker.
Representative Robert Nasal, party list BH is hereby recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Madam Sponsor, I just have a few questions. Do you confirm that the supplemental affidavit of Ramil Madriaga was not attached to the original complaints?
We confirm that, Mr. Speaker. Nonetheless, considering that the contents of the supplemental affidavit is germane, relevant to the allegations in the impeachment complaint, and even including his original affidavit, the rules of impeachment expressly allow the Justice Committee to include the same in our consideration.
Thank you, Madam Sponsor. Do you also confirm that the SAL-ends of the Vice President were not attached to the original complaints?
We confirm that, Mr. Speaker, but like my explanation earlier, the rule expressly allows other related evidence that is sanctioned by Section 7, Paragraph 2 of the Rules of Impeachment, which says, the committee shall have the power to issue compulsory processes for the attendance of witnesses and the production of documents and other related evidence. It is the submission of this representation, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, that in the allegations of unexplained wealth, non-disclosure in the SAL-N, notwithstanding that they are not attached in the impeachment complaint, they are very much relevant to the allegations of the offense.
Thank you, Madam Sponsor. Do you also confirm that the AMLC reports were not attached to the original complaints?
We confirm that, Mr. Speaker, but similarly, the AMLAC report is germane, the AMLAC report is relevant, the AMLAC report is significant in as far as allegations of unexplained wealth and non-disclosure in the SALN is concerned. As a matter of fact, Mr. Speaker, during the proceeding before the Justice Committee, the contradictory, the disparity between the SALN vis-a-vis the AMLAC report was very well established.
Thank you, Madam Sponsor. Mr. Speaker, Madam Sponsor, may I ask if the respondent Vice President was furnished with a copy of this particular report that discussed the 2 billion glitch reported by BPI?
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, we understand that all the documents submitted to the committee were furnished not only to the parties, the complainant and the Vice President, but also the justice members and the members of the House of Representatives. Having said so, it is submitted that it is our humble submission that the same is included among the documents transmitted to the respondent Vice President.
So nabigyan po natin sila, Madam Sponsor.
Because the instruction, Mr. Speaker, is to transmit all documents which form part of the proceeding of the Justice Committee, then it follows that all documents presented, if they are presented before the Justice Committee, were transmitted as well to the respondent.
Mr. Speaker, I respectfully manifest that these questions are not meant to prejudge the impeachment case or obstruct the constitutional power of this House. Ang layunin lang po ay malinaw na mailagay sa record ang isang mahalagang due process concern. Dapat ang impeachment complaints ay sapat sa kanilang sariling allegations at supporting documents at the time of filing. Kung ang material evidence tulad ng AMLC reports, corrected bank data, witness affidavits, COA records, at authenticated videos ay nakuha lamang during the committee proceedings, kailangan malinaw kung ang complaints ba ay sapat na noong inihain o nabuo lamang ang kaso pagkatapos. For this reason, before the House votes, may we respectfully request that the record clearly show which evidence was attached at filing and which evidence was obtained later. Ito ay mahalaga hindi lamang para sa respondent, kundi para sa integridad ng House at ng impeachment process. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Madam Sponsor.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, please recognize the statesman from Davao City, the Honorable Representative Isidro T. Ungab.
Honorable Isidro Ungab, 3rd District, Davao City, is hereby recognized.
Mr. Speaker, before I will ask my question, I would like to ask how many minutes am I allowed to ask for this interpellation?
You're given 3 minutes.
3 minutes only. I understand that's only supposed for the explanation vote, but considering that it's only the time limited or given, so I will just go direct. I have a lot of questions supposedly. Will the sponsor, Madam Sponsor, may I continue?
I will be pleased to respond to the honorable gentleman.
Will the sponsor confirm that no leave was sought and no order was issued allowing either complainant to amend or supplement the consolidated complaint after March 16, 2026?
May we be clarified, Mr. Speaker? Which complaint does the gentleman refer to?
The two complaints, Your Honor, I am supposed to ask questions. There is no House rule and no Supreme Court precedent that allows silent amendment by post-answer evidence. If no leave was sought and no order was issued, then every post-answer factual addition is by definition outside the operative pleading.
Mr. Speaker, if the gentleman is referring to the 2 impeachment complaints, the 3rd impeachment complaint, that is Abalia et al., and the 4th impeachment complaint, that is Cabrera, the Justice Committee did not amend any of those complaints. What the Justice Committee did is to conduct a clarificatory hearing for the purpose of the determination of the existence of probable cause. And it is for the same reason that the Justice Committee exercise its compulsory power, such as the issuance of subpoena ad testificandum and subpoena duces tecum. There is no amendment that happened, Mr. Speaker. Other relevant documents were considered, but the same is for the purpose of responding to the mandate of the determination of whether probable cause exists or otherwise.
If the new evidence merely supports existing allegations, will the sponsor identify the existing allegations in a Zabalia or Cabrera complaint that placed the respondent on notice of one, 313 personal CTRs. Second, 1.83 billion in personal inflows. 3, the Madriaga supplemental claim of Malacanang armed assault. 4, the names of Kalilong, Lotok, and Anglubin. Are these present in the original verified complaint?
Mr. Speaker, both the Sabalian complaint and the Cabrera complaint mentioned about unexplained wealth and non-disclosure in the SALN. And again, inviting the attention of the members of the House to the test of relevance, test of significance, even if the attachments or the evidence is not attached to the impeachment complaint at the onset, so long as it is relevant, so long as it is germane, so long as it is connected. The rules of impeachment expressly allow the Justice Committee to include the same in the consideration of evidence for the purpose of the determination of probable cause.
I actually disagree, but let me continue, Your Honor. Will the sponsor confirm that the Madriaga supplemental affidavit, dated April 11, Annex W of the articles, was executed 26 days after the filing of the respondent's answer?
Nonetheless, Mr. Speaker, following the test of relevance, Mr. Madriaga is alleging the delivery of the confidential fund to the identified locations in his supplemental affidavit. This statement, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, is of course relevant to the allegation of misuse of confidential fund, and therefore, this should be considered in the determination of probable cause as the same is expressly allowed under paragraph 2, section 7 of the rules of impeachment.
Mr. Speaker, the supplemental affidavit is annexed to the very articles to be transmitted. It is footnoted at footnote 84 of the Article 4 as the evidentiary anchor for assassination, civil obedience, and armed assault at Malacanang, Palace to ensure respondents' assumption of power before 2028. That language does not appear in either the Zabalia or Cabrera complaint. The dates are uncontroverted on the face of the articles themselves. Your Honor, March 16, yung ating respondent ay nag-reply na.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, the question being raised by the honorable gentleman is the same question that has been raised for 3 times already. Notwithstanding that the supplemental affidavit was not yet existing prior to the filing of the impeachment complaint, Section 7, Paragraph 2 allow the consideration of the same, considering that the supplemental affidavit is relevant to the allegations of offenses. If I may add, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, let us be reminded that the threshold that was given to the Justice Committee for the purpose of the determination of probable cause is very minimal, and that is probable cause. When we say probable cause, the Supreme Court pronounced and described the same in the past impeachment processes as merely reasonable justification for us to be able to proceed to trial. With that, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, we submit that all the evidences not present during the filing, but present during the proceeding are relevant evidence and therefore must be considered as well by the Justice Committee.
My time is expired, but one last comment,
Okay.
Mr. Speaker. The consolidated articles of impeachment, which is supposedly a product of the 2 verified complaints, has been expanded and has included. It included new evidence, and it is only fair and fitting that the respondent should be asked to reply first before that is being brought here in this plenary. That is my point, Mr. Speaker. Where's due process here? If the respondent was not allowed to answer the consolidated articles of impeachment.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, as to the question which is being repeatedly raised by the honorable gentleman, let me manifest our position for the last time. Regardless of the fact that the evidence are not yet attached, not yet present, not yet available during the filing of the impeachment complaint, so long as the same is relevant, paragraph 2, section 7 of Rules of Impeachment expressly allowed the Justice Committee to include the same in the consideration for the purpose of the determination of probable cause. With regards to, his second manifestation, Mr. Speaker, that the respondent Vice President was not given due process, the records will show from day one of the justice proceeding, we've been sending notices to the respondent Vice President. As a matter of fact, even after each resource person, for 3 consecutive clarificatory hearings, we were calling the Vice President just to make sure that we're able to cater ample due process because we are consistent to the rules of impeachment, the Constitution, and even the decisions of the Supreme Court.
Representative Ungab, please
Be
wrap up.
allowed just one last comment to answer. The argument stated by the lady sponsor conflates 2 doctrinally distinct constitutional requirements. First, 1, what is required? Procedural attendance, the right to be present, to file pleadings, and to participate in proceedings. And second, substantive fair notice, the right to know in advance and with specificity the factual case one is required to meet. The Constitution in Antibay Gutierrez versus House Committee on Justice, and most recently decided Vice President Sara Duterte versus House of Representatives, which was denied with finality, required, and the record will show that the committee provided the first but withheld the second. Whenever post-filing evidence introduced factual predicates absent from the 4 corners of the verified complaint. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I wish to invite the attention of the Honorable Ungab, my distinguished colleague, that the Vice President, during the determination of sufficiency in substance, upon the determination of sufficiency in substance, was indeed sent a notice for her to file her answer. Indeed, the Justice Committee received the answer. However, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, the answer raises constitutional questions, questions similar to those pending before the Honorable Supreme Court. It never responded directly to the allegations of the complaint. To complete my response, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, as I have said, in the entire proceeding of the Justice Committee, the respondent Vice President was duly notified. And after presentation of every resource person, she was being called by the committee secretary to make sure that due process will be provided to the respondent Vice President. With that, Mr. Speaker, it is our humble submission that we complied fully, amply, to the requirement of due process, be it substantive or procedural.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Please recognize the gentleman from the 1st District of Batangas, the Honorable Leandro Legarda Leviste, for his
Honorable
interpellation.
Leandro Antonio Legarda Leviste, 1st District of Batangas, is hereby recognized.
Magandang
You have
hapon
3
po
minutes.
sa aking kababayan, Madam Chair. Madam, is selective justice justice or injustice?
We are not abiding with selective injustice, inasmuch as we do not abide in selective accountability. And I have mentioned that in my sponsorship speech.
So selective justice is injustice, therefore if we hold some to account, we should hold all to account.
That is correct.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Would you support the House resuming the flood control investigations?
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, in our response to the mandate of transparency and accountability, we have to distinguish between an impeachable official and non-impeachable official.
I'm asking for your personal position on
For
this.
impeachable official, Mr. Speaker, we follow the rules of impeachment, both of the House of Representatives and of the Senate. For non-impeachable official, it will depend on the nature of investigation or case which the gentleman from the 1st District of Batangas wishes to initiate.
Let me reiterate the question,
Nevertheless,
Madam.
Mr. Speaker, there is proper forum, there is proper rules that apply to every remedy that is given to the Filipino people.
So may I ask again, Madam, would you support the House resuming the flood control investigations?
Mr. Speaker, may I be recognized?
Majority Leader.
While I understand the concern of the Honorable Leviste to pursue accountability in all matters involving Congress and the government itself, may I request the gentleman from Batangas not to stray from our deliberations involving the resolution.
So the House does not want to make a statement today on whether it wishes to resume the flood control investigations.
Mr. Speaker, we will not make any statement outside our deliberations on the impeachment complaints.
Thank
May I
you, Mr. Chair.
remind Representative Leviste to
Thank you.
confine
I will move
your
to my next topic.
interpellation and question to the resolution under consideration.
I will move to my next topic. Thank you. Do you support transparency in the use of public funds?
Definitely, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I heard that on March 18, some members of Congress got Easter break bonuses or additional MOOE of 2 million pesos or more, and those who do not support the impeachment did not get this extra MOOE. Do you know anything about this, Madam Chair, and how much MOOE have you gotten this year?
Mr. Speaker, I deny the allegation of the honorable gentleman from Batangas, but it is my observation as well that the statement is no longer relevant to the subject matter of this impeachment.
Madam
proceeding.
Chair, I just want to make this clear before the members of Congress cast their votes. Because there is, first of all, confirmed information that some members of Congress got 2 million pesos on March 18. But on the impeachment,
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Chair, just on the impeachment,
Just
Majority
on,
Leader.
on the
Mr.
impeachment,
Speaker, the Honorable Legarda Leviste
just on the
is
impeachment, Mr.
free
Chair.
to speak his mind after the voting, so long as
Mr.
we
Chair,
stay.
just on the impeachment, Senator Amy Marcos said those who vote for the impeachment will get 20 million pesos. And I just want to make it clear if this is true or not, because if it is true, then it should be made public. And if some are getting the 20 million and others are not getting the 20 million, then it should at least be fair that everyone who votes gets 20 million, and those who do not vote hopefully should also be given that, because this is taxpayers' money and should not be allocated on the basis of your vote on the impeachment.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of all the members of the House of Representatives, I categorically deny any statement made by
This
the
is what
Senator.
Senator Amy Marcos said.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. May I request the Honorable Leviste to proceed with his interpellation
Okay.
regarding the resolution and the articles of impeachment.
I have one last topic on this, which is, for the sake of the other members of Congress, is it true or not true that those who vote against the impeachment will lose benefits for their vote? So that before we cast our votes, we will know whether doing so will result in us losing our benefits or not.
Mr. Speaker, may I be recognized once more?
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the House, we categorically deny any such allegations, and we would like to thank the Honorable Legarda for his pursuit of accountability
Thank
and
you, Mr. Chair.
transparency.
I would like to
Honorable-
thank you for putting it on the
Honorable
record.
Legarda.
That Mr.
Your
Chair
time
actually
is
made
up.
a very
I'll give
good
you
thing.
one last question.
No one should lose their benefits for their vote today. And lastly, I would like to ask if the House Committee on Accounts and the DBM can release all data on the budgetary releases for MOOE or for infrastructure or any other budgets so that we can ascertain whether it is true or not what Senator Amy Marcos said. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there being no other member to interpellate the sponsor or make any manifestation, I move to adopt House Resolution number 989 together with the findings, conclusions, and recommendations contained in Committee Report number 261, and for this purpose, direct the Secretary General to call the roll of members for nominal voting.
The Secretary General is hereby directed to call the roll of members for nominal voting. The Chair reminds all members that the House is now in process of voting, and pursuant to the rules, The voting process shall not be interrupted at any other business or question. Members who wish to explain their vote shall be recognized after the announcement of the results and shall be allotted 3 minutes each for such purpose. Secretary General, conduct the nominal voting.
Roll of members, Abalos, Abante, Asidre, Acop, Acosta, Adyong, Advincula, Agarao, Agyao, Alano, Alba, Albano, Almario Chino Manuel, Almario Dennis, Almonte, Alvarez Jose, Alvarez Mercedes, Amante, Amatong, Angara, Angeles, Aquino, Aquino Magsaysay, Arbison Munir, Arbison Munir Jr., Arenas, Arrogancia, Asistio, Ataide, Aumentado, Ayon, Bag-aw.
Mr. Speaker,
Lagay natin ang ating mga sarili sa harap ng Diyos.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes, and I will explain my vote
Panginoong Diyos
after
na
everyone
habag,
has voted. Thank you, Mr.
malapit
Speaker.
kami sa inyo bilang isang bansa.
Balindong,
sa aming oras
Banyas
ng katotohanan.
Nograles, Bangkoro,
Nagpapakumbaba
Barba,
kami at humihiling sa inyo.
Barbers,
Magtatag ng
Baronda,
katarungan
Barzaga.
ng gumaling ang aming bayan.
Speaker, I vote no,
Pinapanalangin namin ang
and I will
lahat
be explaining
ng
my vote
magiging
later.
senator judges
Baskog.
lahat ng
I am voting
opisyal
no, and
sa
I will
parating na
explain my vote
impeachment
later
trial.
also.
Naway ang magiging pasya, bawat pasya namin ay nakatuntong sa katotohanan, ebidensya at konsensya. Panginoong Diyos na ng katarungan, gabayan niyo kami sa paglilitis na haharapin upang masagot ng tama ang mga tanong na sino ba kami bilang mga Pilipino, bilang isang bayan? Patas ba ang batas dito sa lupang hinirang o kalasag lamang ng makapangyarihan? Tulungan niyo po kaming gawing daan din ito tungo sa katarungan at katotohanan para sa bawat Pilipino, lalo na sa madaling apihin at abusuhin. Panginoong Diyos ng kasaysayan, tulungan niyo po kaming sagutin ang hamon ng panahon at unahin ang interes ng bayan at hindi ng sarili. Tulungan niyo po kaming bigyang bigat ang hatol ng kasaysayan at hindi ng politika. Salamat sa maraming pagkakataon niyo ng pagsagip sa amin sa tila tiyak na kaguluhan at sakuna. Panginoong Diyos na habag, katarungan at kasaysayan, habang nagaganap ang paglilitis, ingatan niyo ang aming bansa laban sa puot, karahasan at kaguluhan, ang galit po ng taong bayan. Gawin po ninyong matinding paghahangad sa katotohanan, sa katarungan, hindi sa paghihiganti. Magtaas po kayo ng mga pinunong naunawaan na ang tungkulin sa bayan ay sagrado, ng mga pinunong tunay na pastol, naglilingkod, hindi inaabuso ang kapangyarihan. Padaluyin ninyo ang katarungan sa Pilipinas na parang ilog at ang katwiran na parang batis na hindi natutuyo. Sa inyong habag ang paglilitis na ito, gawin niyo pong simula ng pagbabago tungo sa katapatan, pananagutan, paghilom ng aming bayan. Sa inyong banal na pangalan, kami ay nananalangin. Amen.
Thank you, Senator Pangilinan. The Servus Dei Vocal Ensemble will lead us in the singing of the Philippine National Anthem. The group will also render a song entitled Bagani after singing the National Anthem.
Bayang magiliw, pera sa silanganan, alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting. Sa manlulupig, di ka pasisingin. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw. May dilag kang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdilingning. Ang bituing na taraw niyang kailan pa may di magdidinig. Lupa ng araw na luwan, hatid pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pa may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Thank you very much, Servus Dei Vocal Ensemble, much appreciated. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Acting Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President, thank you. Mr. President, I move that we dispense with the reading of the Journal of the 63rd Session, May 13, 2026, and consider...
I'm sorry, Majority
Wala pa
Leader.
pala.
We'll do
Sorry.
the roll call first.
May we
Yes, my apologies.
move for the rolling of the... Roll call, please, Mr. President. I move to call the roll, Mr. President. Sorry.
There's no objection, we will call the roll.
Roll call of members. Honorable Senator Aquino, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lacson, Senator Lapid, Senator Ligarda, Senator Marcoleta, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pangilinan, Senator Soto, Senator Tulfo Erwin, Senator Tulfo Rafi, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Camil, Senator Villar Mark, Senator Subiri. The Senate President is present.
With 23 senators, Senator Bato is absent? Okay, with 23 senators present, the chair declares presence of a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. President. Before we proceed, may I just be allowed to recognize guests from the gallery, guests of Senator Ligarda, Mayor Mar Mission of San Remigio Antique. Mr. President. Mr. President, at this juncture, we would like to, first of all, put on record our sincerest thanks and gratitude for the valuable contribution of our Secretary General of the Senate. And I've seen firsthand his sacrifices and willingness to walk the extra mile just to preserve the dignity of the institution. So we just want to put that on record.
At the right time, I think we should honor him with a resolution.
Yes.
And is he also the first to be a SecGen of both the House and the Senate? And to be fair, he actually resigned right away. I asked him to continue, and actually I'm asking him to continue in a different manner. But dear colleagues, the SecGen Mendoza did a great service to both houses.
We
and I'd
wanted
like
to put on
recognize.
record, the name is Dong Mendoza,
Yes.
former congressman of the great province of Batangas. And with that, Mr. President, and following the relinquishment of the position by our former Secretary of the Senate, I move that we proceed to the election of a new Secretary of the Senate. So move, Mr. President.
Yes. I consulted the minority leader, and because the SecGen will also be the clerk of court of the impeachment proceeding. So there are no objections. We will proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, in accordance to Rule 2, Section 2 of the Rules of the Senate, may I respectfully nominate Jose Luis Garcia Montales as the new Secretary of the Senate. So move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none.
Thank you, Mr. President. And there being no other nominations, may I respectfully move that the period of nominations be closed. So move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none. The motion is approved. Pursuant to the rules of the Senate, there being no other candidate for the position of Senate Secretary, the voting will be viva voce. Those voting for Attorney Montales, please say aye. The ayes have it. Congratulations, Attorney Jose Luis Montales. Those who are against, say nay. Okay. Thank you very much for... The ayes have it. And Jose Luis Montales is hereby declared as proclaimed as the Secretary of the Senate, the second to have been both SecGen of the House and the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I move for a minute suspension to allow our new Senate Secretary to ascend the rostrum and take his oath. So move, Mr. President.
No, thank you. Wala si Ses. Okay. I state your full name.
I, Jose Luis Garcia Montales,
Having been elected to the position of Secretary of the Senate,
having been elected to the position of Secretary of the Senate,
do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
that I will well and faithfully discharge,
that I will well and faithfully discharge,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
the duties of my present position,
the duties of my present position,
and of all others I may hereafter
and of all others I may hereafter
hold under the Republic of the Philippines,
hold under the Republic of the Philippines,
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the Philippines,
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the Philippines,
that I will obey the laws,
that I will obey the laws,
legal orders, and decrees
legal orders, and decrees
promulgated by the duly constituted authorities,
promulgated by the duly constituted authorities,
and maintain true faith and allegiance
and maintain true faith and allegiance
to the Republic of the Philippines,
to the Republic of the Philippines,
and that I impose this obligation
and that I impose this obligation
upon myself voluntarily, without mental reservation
without mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion.
So help me God.
So help. Thank you, Pia.
Nandiyan na yung sana. Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Mr. President, at this juncture, I move that we proceed with the reference of business.
Is there any objection? If not, the motion is approved.
Messages from the House of Representatives. Letter from the House of Representatives transmitting to the Senate 27 copies of Committee Report Number 261 on House Resolution Number 989 titled, Resolution Setting Forth the Articles of Impeachment against Vice President Sara Z. Duterte, together with the annexes thereto, and 27 USB devices containing file copies of the above.
Referred to the Committee on Rules.
Letter from the House of Representatives transmitting to the Senate the sealed box containing the documents from the Bureau of Internal Revenue relative to the impeachment proceedings against Vice President Sara Z. Duterte.
Referred to the Committee on Rules.
Letter from the House of Representatives informing the Senate that, in accordance with Section 16, Rule 6 of the Rules of Procedure in the impeachment proceedings of the House of Representatives, 20th Congress, Representatives Luis Ro, Ridon, Gutierrez, Zamora, Defensor, Diokno, De Lima, Bagao, Flores, Suan, and Chua have been elected as prosecutors in the impeachment trial against Vice President Sara Z. Duterte.
Referred to the Committee on Rules. Acting Majority Leader.
Mr. President.
Yeah.
Mr.
The
President,
Minority Leader is recognized.
I
I heard, and we saw the notice, the message from the House of Representatives, and you have referred the articles of impeachment to the Committee on Rules. May we know if we have already constituted the Committee on Rules?
The Committee on Rules is in the acting capacity. So in accordance with Section 19, the same members and Senator Villanueva. Actually, for your information, Minority Leader, we were in caucus and wanted to meet also the minority to start reading the committee chairmanships, but we thought it prudent to convene the court first, and then when we remove our, after we convene the court and suspend, we can go back into session to start reading the committees.
So I take it that right now the chairman of the Committee on Rules is in an acting capacity.
Yes, Senator Villanueva.
And
in
the
acting.
membership at this point would only be the ex officio members.
And the members before all positions were declared
holdover
vacant.
from the previous,
yes, in accordance with Section 19.
Will you refresh me with Section 19, Your Honor, Mr. President? Because
Yes, yes. And to be fair,
because in that
Senator
case-
Pangilinan has a interpretation question. That's why we referred this to the Committee on Rules.
Okay.
The chairman and the members of the permanent committee shall commence in the exercise of their duties upon election. They shall cease when their successors shall have been elected or designated. So since we have not yet elected or designated their successors, except for the majority leader, our interpretation that it continues. But Senator Pangilinan did bring up the seeming conflict that if it's all seats vacant, then it's
Yes,
vacant.
precisely.
But then my initial statement was that you harmonize the rules, and if you harmonize it with pragmatically with what's happening, then we should never have a complete vacancy. Having said that, it is with the Committee on Rules, but I don't think Senator Villanueva scheduled it for hearing until we have the permanent members, just to be sure. And we hope to start doing that this afternoon.
we will accept that for now, Mr.
Yes.
President.
Thank you, Minority Leader.
We make a note of the manifestation.
And,
Thank you.
and I will note and recognize not only your observations today, but the observation of Senator Pangilinan. And if we need to clarify later on, it'll be a good opportunity for us to look at the rules, given the 1392 present setup, unless we are overtaken by events. Yes. Okay. Majority Leader?
Correction, Mr. President, 1311.
Yeah, well, it hasn't been corrected because Senator Subiri and Senator JV said that they are independent, but same with Senator Pia and I, we started out independent, and then Senator Subiri asked us if for the purposes of we can join the majority. So it's their choice if they remain minority or they join the majority, or if you can get 2 more members, then you will be the new majority.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. President, may I?
Of course. Former Senate President Zubiri.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I would like to be associated with the minority bloc, Mr. President, if I may. Binatigos nga ako nila, sabi nila na ako yung nag-fence sitting at nag-abstain. Nag-abstain lang ako para have a free hand to vote on which issue that I think is important for the Filipino people. But when it comes to the organization, I would like to associate myself with the minority, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Zubiri. Yes. So, Senator Ejercito would also like to manifest.
Yes, first of all, Mr. President, I'd like to thank Mr. President for the trust and honor that I was offered to become the majority leader. But as I have mentioned to you personally, that as of this time, I would rather maintain my independence, and with what is happening all over, I think I'll be able to perform my tasks very well and my pet programs very well as an independent. But again, nonetheless, Mr. President, I would like to thank you for the trust and confidence. Being majority leader is a very, of course, it's one of the most powerful, we would say, position in the Senate. But I guess I have, at this point, I would like to maintain my independence.
And I also understand. I also recognize that you will say that you will be our number 14, but until the time that we vote, any member, we have to respect their decision and always ascribe good faith. So we will continue to be good friends despite the political divisions or the nomenclature of who is in the majority or the minority. So for the purposes of today to the future, and unless a change is made, will you be an independent or will you be with the minority?
Yes, for now, Mr. President, I'll be with the minority.
Okay.
But again, I would like to thank you for that and for the respect. And we will all still be friends, no matter what. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
President.
Senator Ejercito. So the Secretariat has that noted, and we can now compute the membership at a 13-11 proportion. So that we do not, we're not accused of any delay. Acting Majority Leader, what's your pleasure
Yes, Mr.
about the
President.
articles of
Yes,
impeachment?
Mr. President, just to put on record, as Senator JV made mention, this his statement is for the purposes of proportional representation in the membership of committees. Also, Mr. President, Senator Lacson asked this representation to put also on record the membership of the Senate Committee on Rules or ex officio members would have to be the new ex officio members. So just to put that on record, Mr. President.
That's a correct observation from Senator Lacson.
Thank you. Mr. President, with the permission of the body, the articles of impeachment have been referred to the Committee on Rules. May I respectfully move to refer the articles of impeachment to the impeachment court. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? There's no objection. It is so referred.
Mr. President, may I move that we suspend the session to convene the impeachment court. So move, Mr. President.
If there's no objection, we will suspend and convene the impeachment court.
If he is not part or suspended from the impeachment proceedings, the 16 votes, the 2/3 votes will still be necessary to convict the Vice President. There's Joel Villanueva, Jingoy Estrada, Senator
is hereby declared open. The clerk of court is directed to make the proclamation.
All persons are commanded to keep silent under pain of penalty while the Senate is sitting in trial on the articles of impeachment against Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte.
The clerk of court will please call the roll.
Roll call of members. The Honorable Senator Judges Aquino, Cayetano Pia, De La Rosa, Ejercito, Escudero, Estrada, Gatchalian, Go, Ontiveros, Lacson, Lapid, Legarda, Marcoleta, Marcos, Padilla, Pangilinan, Soto III, Tulfo Erwin, Tulfo Rafi, Villanueva, Villar Camille, Villar Mark, Zubiri, the Senate President.
With 23 senator judges present, the chair declares the presence of a quorum. Senator Judge Villanueva.
Yes, Mr. President, Sir Presiding Officer, may we request Senator Judge Camille Villar to ascend the rostrum to administer the oath of the Senate President.
Between the
Anytime.
Please raise your right hand. Impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte. I state your name.
I, Alan Peter Compañero Shram Cayetano,
Solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that in all things appertaining to the trial of the impeachment of Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte,
that in all things appertaining to the trial of the impeachment of Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte,
now pending,
I
will do impartial justice according to the Constitution.
I will do impartial justice according to the Constitution
and laws of the Philippines.
and the laws of the Philippines.
So help me God.
So help me God. At this time, I will administer the oath of each of the senator judges in the chamber in conformity with Article 11, Section 3, Paragraph 6 of the Philippine Constitution and Rule 3 of the Senate Rules of Procedure on Impeachment Trials. May we request everyone to rise. Same oath, no? Same oath. So, same. I state your name. Solemnly swear that in all things appertaining to the trial of the impeachment of Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte, now pending, I will do impartial justice according to the Constitution and the laws of the Philippines. So help me God. Senator Judge Villanueva.
Thank you, Mr. President. Last Thursday, May 14, 2026, the House of Representatives, through Secretary General Cheloy Garafil, personally delivered to the Senate the articles of impeachment against Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte, pursuant to Article 11, Section 3, paragraph 3 of the Constitution, and Rule 4, Section 11 of the Rules of Procedure in the impeachment proceedings of the House of Representatives. Earlier today, the articles of impeachment were referred to the Committee on Rules and consequently to the Senate sitting as an impeachment court. Mr. President, the articles of impeachment against Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte with its annexes are now presented to the court for proper disposition and action.
The same is duly noted and made of record. For the record, Resolution number 39 or the Rules of Procedure on Impeachment Trial shall continue to apply. We further note that Rule 6 thereof, which provide that the provisions of the rules of the Senate and the revised rules of court shall apply suppletorily whenever applicable. The court having been organized, and the articles of impeachment having been presented, let a writ of summons be issued to the Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte, who is directed to file her answer within a non-extendable period of 10 days from receipt, pursuant to Article 7 of the Rules of Procedure of Impeachment Trial. She is directed to appear before the Session Hall of the Senate of the Philippines upon notice. The Sergeant at Arms is directed to serve the written summons on Vice President Sara Duterte along with a copy of the articles of impeachment. The prosecution may file a reply within a non-extendable period of 5 days from receipt of the answer. The parties may file their pleadings and annexes in person or through electronic mail. All other pleadings, motions, similar papers intended for the consideration of this court may be filed electronically. We will circulate the specific instructions on the format for the pleadings and manner of electronic filing for the guidance of all parties.
Mr. President.
Senator Judge.
Thank you,
Soto.
thank you.
Yes.
Mr. President, may we be clarified when you say 10 days, is that working days or calendar days?
Calendar days.
Calendar days, and including the 5 days for the prosecution to respond.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay. The clerk of court is hereby authorized to calendar the case for pre-trial and issue the corresponding notices to the parties after the last pleading is filed. Upon conclusion of the pre-trial, the trial proper shall commence on a date and time fixed by the court, of which the parties shall be duly notified. I approached members of the minority of the Senate, and then later on I will approach the senator judges that we will fix the calendar together, and in pursuit of impartial justice, we will come up with a impeachment calendar that is fair to the prosecution and to the defense, and will allow us to continue to function in the legislative side of our work. Any other matter? If there no other matter, the session is suspended.